everybody, and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're going to be reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, Episode 87. Now let's jump right into this. The first match of the evening, we have Skyler versus Big Domo, formerly Killian Dane in NXT, and before that, Big Domo all over the world. This was a really cool match. I like this as an opener. I like Skyler. I think he's one of the guys that hasn't... I don't understand why he's not been on a bigger platform and given a bigger shot. Because to me, he has everything. I love what he does on Impact. He's a guy who's kind of flown under the radar. And for the past, decade or so, he's been an awesome wrestler all through independent wrestling. I just don't know why he hasn't gotten that chance to shine. But we see him here in a big opportunity against Big Domo. Both of these guys is what they say is their debuts for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought this is a really good opener, a really good match. Big Domo picks up the win here. I could see them going with that because I could see him being someone they're going to want to use more in New Japan and in New Japan proper. And I don't know that Skyler is that guy. Skyler, again, I really like Skyler, so this is not a knock on him. I don't know that he would be a guy that they want to bring over to Japan right now. He's working really well in Impact, and I think Impact should put a big push behind him. Just my opinion on that. Like I said, Big Domo picks up the win here. I'm going to give this one a 4. Right off the bat, they come out good. One thing I did notice, and if you watch this, let me know what you think. Either they had the crowd mic'd really poorly for this show, or the crowd just was dead. Because there wasn't a lot of noise or a lot of action there. This was taped in Tampa, so a lot of the people there know Killian Dane from his NXT days, would have seen him on NXT. This is the same crowd that would have went to the NXT shows that wrestled all around Florida when he was there as part of Sanity. So it kind of felt, and it felt the same way for the next two matches as well. The crowd felt kind of dead, which really, it's really hard when a crowd is dead to give your honest opinion on the match because it kind of makes you feel like, well, maybe I'm judging this wrong. But I try not to judge that, especially coming off of what we had with the pandemic where there was a lot of places running with no crowds. So it's hard to judge if you're going with the crowd reaction, if that makes sense. Now, coming from that, our next match of the night, Blake Christian versus Shane Strickland, a.k.a. Swerve. I enjoyed this. These are two guys I really enjoy. Blake Christian's been tearing it up in Game Changer Wrestling. Swerve tears it up everywhere he goes. I really think if the right push is put behind Swerve, he could be the ace of AEW. He could be the ace of New Japan. I think he's someone who has that charisma, much like The Rock before him, much like Steve Austin, much like a John Cena, where he draws you in and you want to watch what he's doing. And he pulls in the crowd with his... He just has... There's something that some people just have naturally. That you could be a great wrestler, which he's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong. But not everybody has this. You know, I hate to say this because he's a guy I really love, but Dean Malenko never had that quality to draw in casual fans. For the wrestling fans like myself, Dean Malenko's a freaking legend, one of the greatest of all time. But for a casual fan, they know Hulk Hogan better. Why? Because Hulk Hogan has that charisma. Shane Strickland, same thing. And the thing that I think that it really is going to help Shane Strickland is he dives heavy into hip-hop and rap culture, and he uses that for his gimmick. And I really, really think that that is an untapped market. I've always, because and I know I'm going off on a tangent here. I always wondered why so many rap songs and so many rappers give respect to pro wrestling, but wrestling doesn't give the respect back. And the fans in the crowd, I mean, most of your theme songs are rock related. Most of your characters that have hip hop in them are dated versions of hip hop. Swerve feels like what's going on right now in hip hop. Swerve feels like he's got his finger on the pulse. And he's evolved. I've seen him evolve over the last several years. Again, I think he taps into a fan base that isn't already watching wrestling. I think that, or that is watching wrestling, but doesn't see themselves represented on TV. The hip-hop fans that listen to guys like the Migos and don't see a character that's like the Migos on television. People that watch Donald Glover's show Atlanta that don't see that kind of a character on TV. People that are deep into hip-hop culture who also love wrestling, this gives them a guy to cheer for. With all that being said, I digress. One way around, Swerve picks up the win in what is another fantastic match on the show. I'm giving it another 4. Last but not least, the final of our 3 matches, the main event, Yuya Uemura versus Buddy Matthews. Yuya, much like I just said with Swerve, Buddy too. Buddy has a little bit of that too. Buddy has chemistry. Buddy has a connection with the fans. Yuya Uemura, mark my words, come back to this video in 5 years. Yuya Uemura, Ren Narita, and Shota Umino are going to be 3 of your big stars in New Japan. One of the 3 is going to win the main title by 5 years from now, if not all 3. This is the next generation's Naito, Okada, and Tanahashi. These 3 are standing out, and it's no knock on other people in the Young Lions. There's other great stars that are coming from that. But these 3 guys are really showing that they're the face of the next generation. Much like Great Khan had done just in the past couple of years, Sho and Yo have done, these guys are really standing out, and they're the head of their class. Yuya Uemura versus Buddy Matthews here. This is a fantastic match. This is a way to showcase how good Uemura is by using a guy that all the fans know and love in Buddy Matthews as kind of a test for him. And I love the way that New Japan does this. I love the way they bring their young talent up. Uemura doesn't win here. Buddy Matthews picks up the win on this. But in losing to Buddy Matthews, he looked better than he ever has before. Much like when he fought Okada and he lost to Okada. He looked better coming out of the Okada match than he did before the Okada match. And you can see part of the story is him learning and getting better with time. There's going to come a time when Uemura faces a guy like Buddy Matthews, like let's say a Kenta, like someone like Evil, someone on that level, that mid-tier level, and he's going to beat them. And then it's going to be off to the races for him. I see nothing but upside potential with him, and I know I'm not talking about the guy that won this match. Everybody knows and loves Buddy Matthews. If you don't, where have you been the last 5 to 7 years? The guy tore it up in NXT, underutilized in WWE. I think he's doing some really cool stuff in AEW with the House of Black, but that's my opinion. Anyway, this was an awesome match. Like I said, Buddy Matthews picked up the win here. Yuya Uemura looked like a star. I'm giving this another 4. All these matches were really good. What I really enjoy about New Japan Strong, there's a lot of things that I enjoy about it. The fact that it's under an hour, the fact that you get to see the development of these young stars, You get to see guys that aren't normally on New Japan shows wrestling the New Japan style. Guys like John Skyler, Big Domo, or Damo. I keep saying Domo, I don't know why. Buddy Matthews and Blake Christian, Swerve. All these guys aren't normal to New Japan. Not saying that they haven't wrestled for New Japan before, but they're not regulars on their roster. But you get to see that on Strong, which is really cool because they get to interact with New Japan talent, and it makes everybody look better. Overall, I'm going to give this show a solid 4. All 3 matches were 4s. Like I said, through the whole night, and this is where really, because I thought about I had to go back and watch the first match a second time, because after seeing the second and third match, and not hearing the crowd into those either, I had to go back and watch the first match just to give it a more critical look at it and take the crowd out of it. Because the crowd did cloud my judgment a bit. I did think less of the match because of how the crowd was reacting. And it was the same for the next 2 matches. So I really think it was an audio issue more than how the crowd was actually reacting. Just my opinion. If you watch it, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the audio down here, if you think that the crowd wasn't mic'd properly or not. But anyway, with all that being said, please like this video, comment, share. If you haven't and you made it this far and you like this, subscribe. If you made it all the way to the end, I know you like what I'm showing here. Put future ace down in the comments for Yuya Uemura. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong, Episode 87.